Shastras because the Dham is dangerous. But if you can spend more time and you need that in your devotional service, or you feel that there's a need for such association and such connection, then it's okay. So I did not connect with anybody there because everybody is tied up to their own service. I have friends there, many friends, but I was meeting them for prasad and all that here and there, but I was just completely isolated myself. And then you take a rickshaw, you have a guidebook, and in a broken Bengali, you can always tell him to go here, there, and we reach those spots. There's no challenge at all. We reached. There's no, and their people are simple. They don't cheat. They don't cheat. I mean, how much could they cheat you for? 20 rupees? Instead of 60, they may say it's 80 from one spot to the other, carrying your load. How much could you get cheated? So it's very easy to in Mayapur. Not like Vrindavan. Vrindavan is complicated. It's more in touch with Delhi. Here, Mayapur is isolated. So we had a wonderful time, sitting and chanting, which is what I did. I just wanted to kind of take time off so that I could go deeper in my own sadhana. And that was the opportunity. Okay. It's dangerous because whenever you are with anything potent, be it a Vaishnava who is advanced, be it a Dham, be it the deities, it is dangerous. It can help you immensely. Such proximity can help you. Such proximity can be suicidal. Can be suicidal because spiritual life can be completely lost because of the offenses that we commit. So that's why we talk about different kinds of aparad. There is Vaishnava aparad, Dham aparad, Seva aparad. In Dham, if you don't have guidance, if you're in touch with material energy, you can commit aparad. So if someone is constantly telling you the glories of the Dham, you actually see through your ears. The Dham is seen through the ears. Because someone is constantly telling you the glories of the Dham and you're able to see the Dham. Otherwise, if you go to Vrindavan, people go to Vrindavan and they see pigs. They see the gutter, Nali, right? And they sometimes, get disturbed completely by the pandas in certain temples. And then that becomes a huge obstacle because that brings down their consciousness and then they become materially motivated. And then they come back with material attachments which increase by 10 times compared to spiritual empowerment, which is supposed to be there when you're there. So that's the reason why you either spend 2-3 days with the association of devotees. That's the reason why in Vrindavan, in our temple, in Mayapur, we have the Dham Seva office. So there are devotees who are trained, who can come with us, who guide us and say, okay, this is the speciality of this place and so on and so forth. So you start listening and then you see the Dham. Not otherwise. So in that sense. So my focus was, it was a very simple, my needs were simple. And, I was very much at home. I didn't need help. I've been there several times. So I just was on my own practically, which was what I wanted. I wanted some solitude. Mataji and Vrinda are used to it. So they're used to my solitude. So they came along and Mataji chants. She also sat and she chanted as much as she could. And Vrinda was also preoccupied because there are always children around to play with. So it's not like she was alone. So we went to a few places. They had a list which we went through. But we could not cover everything. It is also said that you don't cover everything because it always gives you an opportunity to go back. So we left a few things behind so that we could go back. But we spent a lot of time with the acharyas, specifically the samadhi of our predecessor acharyas. So that's what we did. So I guess everyone is assembled here, and thank you very much for taking the time in bad weather to be here. Appreciate it, and I want to thank Purnachandra Prabhu and Mataji for kind of having a back-to-back program last night and this morning. We requested them. So I just wanted to share a few things, and I thought that I should have some of you here what was important for you to know, because there are a change in some of my plans on how I'm going to be serving Srila Prabhupada. So I just wanted to share that so that you are completely aware of it, and then so you would know on how we are going to be working together. We are all working together. We have been working together for a long time. We'll continue to work together, but sometimes one has to be a spiritual utilitarian. Utility is the principle where you have to constantly look for and see if you can make adjustments to improve your situation and improve the situation of others. Right? So I just wanted to kind of share my plans with you and kind of give you the flavor of what to expect in starting today. I don't have time, neither do you. So I thought I'll just give a short, exchange. It's an exchange. It's interactive, where I expect you to voice your thoughts. I'm here to hear those. At the same time, I want to explain what the plan is going to be, where I would also seek your support. So, as I was explaining, the whole principle in Gaudiya Vaishnavism is the principle of Siksha. If you notice the parampara here, there is a greater emphasis on Siksha relationship than Diksha. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is the Siksha Guru of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is the Siksha Guru of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And of course, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj initiated only Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but he inspired millions. Right? And then you have Srila Prabhupada, who was initiated by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, but predominantly most of his writings were inspired by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. They were inspired by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There was a tremendous amount of alignment in Prabhupada's work with these acharyas. Now, our own position in the parampara is such that our relationship is that of a Siksha relationship. For most part, we are guided by the Siksha of Prabhupada. Our relationship with our spiritual master, if you're a second generation disciple of Prabhupada, is we say that we are connected to Prabhupada by a certain personality. Right? So for example, here Purnachandra Prabhu's spiritual master is Bhaktichar Maharaj. So Bhaktichar Maharaj does not project himself as anything but a servant of Prabhupada. He has no other identity other than being a pure, transparent via medium of Prabhupada, and that's exactly his position. So our connection to the movement and to the parampara is Siksha. Siksha from Prabhupada. He is the Siksha Guru for the next 10,000 years. His books would be the basis, we constantly say. It is a Siksha relationship overall in the parampara. So there's a greater focus on the words than the actual association or connection. It's more in terms of how things are supposed to be and what we can share. Now, I am at a stage in my spiritual career where I need to be able to go a little deeper. Every one of us reach certain stages, and you got to readjust and take inventory of where you are and try and see how best you could strengthen yourself so that you could be of a greater utility to the parampara. Because we are servants, we are constantly focused on service, and we want to see how we could serve better. What is it which we need for us to be able to serve better? So I am at a stage where I need time. That's number one. For me to be able to go deeper into Prabhupada's books and other supplementary, books which have been provided by the parampara. I have never had a chance to do that in a deep sense. It is time for me also for me to be able to accelerate my preaching. Accelerate my preaching in the sense that not one or two verses of sharing, and sometimes it's redundant because I meet here on Friday, I meet here on Saturday as well, and we're talking about the same topic. We are one chapter away. There's a tremendous amount of redundancy and repetition. So that plus the fact that there's only one or two verses which gets covered when we meet once a week, and then there is a gap of whatever happened now. There's a huge gap where we got to practically start all over again because people could have forgotten. Either you go on vacation, I may go on vacation. It doesn't work that way. So there are certain practical challenges and there are certain inefficiencies associated with the way I'm operating right now. I'm being very honest. You might have noticed that. Inefficiencies by way of my having to repeat myself. Inefficiencies because I'm covering a very little footprint of what needs to be covered or what can be done on a weekly basis. Inefficiency because there's very little time. So that sense of urgency in times of time, you might say that yes, we are all young, we have way to go, we have probably around 40 years to live on this planet and so on and so forth. That may very well be true. It could be 40, it could be 60, it could be 20, we are not aware of how much time. But the fact is, time belongs to Krishna. And that time, constantly, you have to be able to focus on to try to see how you can apply it in His service. You recognize the Master and you use whatever it is in His service efficiently. So, in conclusion, what I have planned, this is something which I came up with, I was reflecting on, and the day I got into Purnachandra Prabhu's car, he picked me up from the airport. In fact, I told him in India that I have a change in plans, didn't I? Yeah, I have, because we were having a conversation in Mayapur or someplace, I don't know where, and I told him that I have some change in plans because I was inspired while I was there to make some changes so that I could accelerate my service to the Parampara. I could go a little deeper into my own spiritual life because it is required at this time. I'm at the stage where I need some time. As it is, I'm waking up at 2:30 every day. I'm working like you. So it's very difficult for me to manage because I have to go to bed at 8:39 for me to be able to cope with that kind of schedule, for me to be able to cope and then, tie up whatever I'm doing. So it's a challenge for me in terms of time. So what I have to do is to cut down certain aspects of how I'm going to be doing things. Not so much on doing things, but how I'm going to be doing things, and I got to work on that. So what are we going to do? Fundamentally, what I've planned is I'm going to accelerate my preaching online. I might be sharing 4 classes a week on video, as opposed to, 2 classes on redundant topics. Though I do understand by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that whenever I give a class, it's not the same, even if it is the same topic, the same verse. Prabhupada inspires us to share different things based on the audience. So I plan to kind of focus on being able to provide and accelerate on Bhagavad Gita, and I want to complete Bhagavad Gita so that I could start Srimad Bhagavatam. I want to start Srimad Bhagavatam, I want to start Chaitanya Charitamrita, and this would be done for my purification, getting deeper into the scriptures and sharing it. But it would also be made available to everyone in a mode which is accessible if you are sincere. If you have the discipline of wanting to listen, and if you have the discipline of wanting to connect, you can connect. Because the way we are working is I'm working with Purnachandra Prabhu, Raj, Suhas Prabhu, and Madhu also. We're trying to kind of put together something where we would be able to accelerate and be able to offer something which is more organized in terms of our preaching effort. The content would be such that we would accelerate and complete the Bhagavad Gita as soon as possible, right? Instead of 2 verses a week, I could practically cover a whole chapter in a month if I were to do so, and I'll be adding those classes. And we would also try and organize it in a manner where it would be interactive, where you can ask questions and write and so on and so forth, where there could be responses. Even though it may not be live, they would be organized in such a way that I can respond to questions that you ask, because there can be a chat which just appends itself just below the video. So there could be some efficiencies which could be brought by, and I could focus on organizing my time, because now the time that I have is something which I can focus on. I would be able to place myself. I'm not constrained by the fact that I have to be someplace at a certain time in a week. I don't have that constraint. I basically would be able to plan my day, plan my week, make myself available. There are times when I get invited to other programs which I have a huge constraint. I refuse, or sometimes, I push it off, I don't respond, but I would like to connect to other communities, essentially, to just further this. So overall, that's the fundamental plan, is that starting today, I will not be in the Saturday Bhakti Vriksha that happens in Govardhan Prabhu and Brajaraja Mataji's house. I will not be coming there. I will not be coming here next Friday to give a class, but we would be working to provide as much as possible online. That's number one. Now, that is the aspect of what's going to be done in terms of classes. In a period of a month or so, the idea is to have one session of 2 to 3 hours where we could focus on a special topic as opposed to just doing the same thing again. And that could be shared with everyone, and we could meet and we could do that. And so we would have FaceTime once a month. That's one. The other idea is that in case you need to contact me and you need to have a conversation with me and you need to meet with me, we are 100% open. There's no restriction. Every one of you is more than welcome at our home. You can contact me and you can come and we'll fix up a time where we can sit and chat. So it's not that I'm going to cut myself off from making myself available. I am going to make myself available, probably more than I did before, but in a manner which would help me become a better servant of the parampara. Because right now, we are supposed to focus on this. We are spiritual utilitarians. We have to constantly examine our life to see how we can cut out inefficiencies. That's exactly what it is. So that's where I'm going with that. Okay, so that's where my preaching is going to be. So there's going to be a lot of content. It could be a shift in patterns for you because you are used to something. You're coming here, on a Friday, and you've been doing it for so many years. So you may be used to something, but then the chances are that now there could be more available. Second is that we are not cutting ourselves off. There's opportunity for us to associate. You're more than welcome to come and visit us, spend time, so that we could have a chat one-on-one, or if there is any kind of challenge or anything that I can serve you with, assist you. So that's where we are. So I kind of want to become mobile as possible, so that I can do whatever I need to do in a more efficient manner. So this is something which has been in a part of me for a long time, but I could not put it to practice because there were constraints in terms of when and how to do it and so on and so forth. But this time around, when I went to India, I was reflecting on it more strongly, and I felt that this is something which I have to really take up. I was inspired from within to take this up very seriously. Right. So this kind of would allow me to also be able to serve better. So that's the actual plan. I did not want this. It is abrupt. It is abrupt because I'm just suddenly coming here and telling you I won't be here next Friday. I didn't want this to be abrupt, as I told you very clearly. You're free to visit, you're free to call, you're free to write. We're going to be in touch. We're going to meet once a month. But some of you, I'm going to be working very closely with you, for the initiatives that we have in mind. So we would be connecting on those grounds. So that's where we are, right? So let me hear your thought. I've shared what my objectives are, and I've given you the logic as well, as much as possible. We will have to closely monitor it. That's the reason why I'm saying that I'm available. Right. Purna Purnachandra Prabhu is available here, right? And you can, if at all, that's the reason why we are sincere. If we believe that there is something where we need to kind of take into account and we want to have a conversation, I'm 10 minutes away, 15 minutes away, I'm a phone call away of wanting to connect. But the fact is this, life is such that one should understand that there is going to be a disruption one way or the other. But here, it's not a disruption, it's an enhancement of what was previously done. It's going to be more, and this would give me a chance to go into other scriptures, which we never would have an opportunity to, because we are constantly going at a pace which is at a snail's pace in terms of being able to move forward. Right? So that's the reason why we have to take that into account as to whether what we are doing currently is meeting several objectives, not just one objective of us being able to see each other, which is which is something which even I would miss, practically speaking. And we're going to have one session at least a month, which we would organize, where we would be able to connect with each other for a longer period of time as opposed to just 45 minutes. Offer something more substantial. Yeah, the idea is I wouldn't really want to say 4 sessions. I'm saying it's possible for me that when I come here and I'm spending, 2.5 hours plus 2.5 hours, that is 5 hours. Those 5 hours can be 4 sessions, practically speaking, for me. I would be recording. Yes, we would be recording, we would be uploading, we would be making it available, but there would be a facility for questions, obviously, because you can hear and you can raise questions, and it would allow me the opportunity to use my time effectively to answer those questions appropriately, because then I would be able to spend time. At this time, the objective is to have it recorded, but then if I am able to get my act around properly in terms of time and so on and so forth, in the future, we might be broadcasting, because that requires some organization. That requires for me to know 100% that that's how my time is going to be spent on a certain time of the day. Right? So this would allow me to do that. Yeah, you got to put some work too. Yeah. It's just not me. You have to put. Well, yeah, the fact is this. Whoever is coming in whoever is coming here, you should continue coming here so that you can get the association and be with each other, right? Purnachandra Prabhu is going to continue his sessions. His sessions would be, we have currently planned that it should be aligned with mine, in the sense that I'm at the 4th chapter. He would probably try and summarize in a way, one way or the other. So this way the transition would be smooth. As far as the Saturday Bhakta Viksha goes, whoever is new, Govardhan Prabhu has been starting to speak for the last few weeks. He will continue to offer. There are plans where new people would have to receive, a certain kind of input. That input would be made available. So it's not that there should not be, the programs will not go on. The programs will go on. The programs will go on. So it's not that the programs here would stop. It's not that we should stop coming here on a Friday. The fact is that, you should kind of understand that being here helps you get motivated, because there are others who are doing the same thing. Right? So it's important for you to get the association. My role is somewhat broader. It has to become broader eventually. In Mayapur, I was quite surprised. Someone met my wife during Arati and asked her that, is this Vrindavan Das? She asked her. And my wife didn't know, and she said, in the sense that, she didn't know them. We didn't know them at all. And that lady has been attending my classes in Canada for a long time, the Friday evening classes. And she says, she's very thankful. She met me and said, it's wonderful that, you're doing it. Please continue, and we are going to get a lot of, help. So what I'm saying is, there seems to be, even our devotees in India. I'm not sure. Does Anupam join these days, or he does? We don't know. Anupam? He's not able to. Okay. Yeah. So there were even our devotees from many who are part of this. They take advantage. So the idea is that if I make it available, I'm doing it for my purification. I'm not doing it to ensure that there's a huge crowd listening to what I speak. That's not my interest. I received orders from my spiritual master to speak. So I study and I share for my purification. Whoever has the opportunity and who has the sincerity, who wants to spend time, take notes, do all that, they have the material. It's going to be made available. I'm also going to make myself available for, answering questions, so on and so forth. Right. So that's the deal. Yes, Arnav. Work out for whom? Yeah, so no, I understand. I understand that we have been in touch for long. I understand that we are all very connected, and every one of you is in my prayers. So it's not that my actions would ever be a source of taking away your Krishna consciousness. It cannot be. Right. So what we need to do is probably need to work better, more efficiently. Where? No, because I'm practically trying to cut my time. That's what I've been doing for the last year and a half, so that I could work better. Right. I have my own objectives. Every one of us should have goals, and I need to be able to do a few things. I have my own standards of what I need to do on a daily basis. So I need time for that. It's not something that I can possibly function like someone else. It is not that the temple program is not wonderful. It's a wonderful program. But I have my own objectives that I have to try and work on. So over the years when we have connected with each other here, I've encouraged every one of you to be a part of the Greater Sangha. The Greater Sangha gives you encouragement because you're seeing a lot more people doing what you're doing and you feel encouraged. But my own situation is not something where you can imitate. If you can wake up like I do and you can do what I'm doing, try it out. I have no problem with it. So if you want to follow everywhere, follow everything, not just partially that, oh Prabhu, are you going to be coming to the temple? If you're not coming to the temple, I'm not coming to the temple, then you better get your act, like, I didn't know, I know you didn't. I'm just saying that what I'm doing is not something which you may be able to do, right? But you should do what the greater population does. And if you have challenges, personally speaking, I would be more than happy to sit with you to try and see how best we can mitigate it. I'm ready to discuss if you have challenges, right? In anything for that matter, be it in anything, any aspect, and that's also something which is possible now because we can have more of a focused chat, personal chat, instead of for the 5 minutes or 2 minutes that we normally spend. We can have a focused chat on a specific topic where you can come and spend time with us and we can have a chat. So that might help. So I might be able to do more. Yeah, that's not good. Well, the 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 movement is a movement in one sense. I'm saying the movement is a movement because we have many people who are working hard in the movement for them to be able to share and inspire others. It takes many. Right? So, for instance, my coming to on Saturdays, I understand that this is not your intent. Ratnakar, I totally understand where you're coming from. So don't mistake me when I'm answering this question. I'm kind of answering the question in a broader sense so that, even in your case, I was answering it in a broader sense. I was not particularly answering your question. So it's not so much that we would want to say that everything is going to be dependent on one person. It cannot be. Right? So it's more a situation where our success is going to be where we create people who can do what we did or even better. So Prabhupada's success was having his disciples do and excel in areas much better than what he would have done. That would have been his aspiration. That's the expectation of any father. Right? From a spiritual perspective, any father's expectation is that the son should do better than him. The grandfather's having the same aspiration similarly. So in that sense, there will be inspiration. There would be people who will be in touch with newcomers and who would work on themselves, and they would reach the point of being able to inspire. Right? So that will happen. So the momentum or whatever is required for them would happen. And if you believe that you have someone who you want to share the videos that we have, you can share those so that they can also listen to it in addition, just as we would do. You can share the videos, so there's no harm in that, where they would be able to kind of listen to it as well and gain insight, and they could be inspired if that's the way they are supposed to be inspired. We don't know, right? I don't know if I answered your question somewhat, but you mean personal association? You're talking about the physical presence. That is, I agree with you. Physical interaction is probably the best, but we want to be utilitarians given the constraints we have. So if there is going to be an opportunity for me to be able to expand in certain ways, I should be trying to expand. And at the same time, we want to refine it to ensure that it is going to be made available in certain ways. And as I said, we're going to be meeting at least once a month. We're going to try to meet at least once a month to discuss any special topic which would be of greater value. And we will meet for a prolonged period of time as opposed to just 45 minutes like we do on a weekly session, right? Oh yeah, we can plan that out. See, it's going to be based on what is appropriate. It's not so much that we are planning, that we can call. It's going to be based on what is appropriate. Everybody is welcome. See, inspiration in spiritual life is not so much about very specific content or in terms of what is being taught. Inspiration, in essence, is where if someone is following very strictly and they carry the potency in their heart, then that conviction of their experiences is passed on to the audience. So that's what transforms the heart when we come in touch with, devotees who probably are very serious in what they're doing. Because they are carrying that potency, they have the conviction, they have the faith, and that is being shared when you hear. Because if someone is seeing something, they have very deep faith because they're seeing something and they're able to share. That goes into our heart, it transforms our heart. Literally, when we say Adav Shraddha, that Shraddha is deposited by coming in touch with devotees who carry Shraddha in their heart. The potency is what starts destroying matter. Right? And then it starts working towards other aspects of it. Prabhupada's books are there as well. Please do. Yeah, but I agree with you. The only challenge, I thought about it. I'm not saying I did not. The only challenge I see is that if I'm going to be doing 4 sessions a week, you would not be able to log in on every session. That's number one. That's there. Huh? You need, my point, you need to be together. Not, no, it's not that see, the thing is, again, it would strip away or take away. I'm not dismissing anything. Trust me. When I'm talking to you now, I'm here to hear your thoughts. I'm not dismissing anything. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to minimize anything. All I'm trying to do is to ensure that I'm taking into account, if I'm going to be coming and I'm going to be giving a live session, then the live session is where I have to fix time again. That's my constraint at this time. I understand. The video conference kind of. You can cover for, you mean the thing. And why would, so this is purely because you would be able to interact on a live basis, is this why? I'm asking what the motivation is. I'm sorry. For you to be able to log in and for you to be able to listen through. It shouldn't stop. It shouldn't stop. It really shouldn't stop. What I'm trying to tell you is that, do not mix the fact that you can still come here. There is going to be a program Friday evenings. There is going to be something which is going to be shared here, and it's going to be in line because, he works very closely with me. It's going to be in line. So it's not so much that, it's going to be very far away from, what you've been hearing because, that's the way it is. So it's not that you're going to not have a program. I just want to ask Mataji, she was just raising, I'm going to come back to you. Well, if that indeed is going to be the case, why be at home? I can be here. So, wouldn't it not be so? The commute time. No, see, I'll tell you something. I'm not averse. I'm not averse to kind of working on this. I'm not averse to it. There is a base set of ideas which I have, which I was discussing with Purnachandra over the last few weeks, and those base set of ideas are what I shared with you. What I have to also be able to see, and I'm taking fully into account. I'm fully taking into account what you all mean to me. Don't ever think that I'm minimizing that relationship. But I would have to really see where and what I can do for me to be able to work this out. So as I said, if it is indeed going to fall in place where I can have a schedule which I can stick to, then we might very much end up doing that. Maybe instead of once a month, we could meet twice a month on a special topic. We could try on those aspects, right? So unless you feel that the issue is more with you are not being able to be here on a weekly basis because of the fact that the program itself is going to end. So that may not be the case. So we could possibly be seeing each other a lot more, right? So what I'm saying is that these are ideas, base set of ideas. I do have an agenda, certain objectives. I want to be able to put these objectives in place and try to see if I can execute against certain plans. And if I can execute against certain plans, we can start fine-tuning it. But for me, right now, the way it appears that it's a little cumbersome to be tied down to a certain session and a certain part of the week where I have to be in a certain place and make myself available. I'm working toward it because we have been in discussion trying to see how best we could streamline equipment-wise, so that the overhead in terms of getting into doing something like that will not be much. The overhead would be very less. Yeah. It's Bhagavad Gita, but different. Yes. No, it's fine. Feel free to talk. I'm not holding you. Yeah. Hmm. So you're saying eliminate one program as opposed to. Hmm. Simple. Hmm. There's infrastructure. The infrastructure. Yeah, I understand. Well, okay, let's probably. Yeah, I hear you. I'm taking that into consideration. What I again going back to what I said. I have certain goals to accomplish, and those goals need time. That's my constraint right now. And for me to effectively function, make myself available, and for me to be able to deliver a greater level of content during the week, and also be able to execute whatever plans I have to reach a plan that is optimum. It fits into all these, slots. Refinements can surely be had, because I might find that practically something else is possible, because I do not know. I don't have an answer right now. But right now, the way it is that I need a continuous period of time. I keep very, very, what do you call it? My schedule is extraordinarily intense. in terms of, people don't recognize it, they don't realize, but it's a fact. It's a very intense schedule which I've been maintaining for a very long period of time. So it's not like it started yesterday. And now it requires, the demands are even greater. Which means, it's a husband and wife team. They work together, which is nice to see. It's nice to see. Let's work on it. Let's think. Let's give it a thought. Give me some time. Okay. Let's put certain things into place. Let's put things into practice, and then we'll see where this goes. That's the reason why I wanted to bring everybody here, because I just didn't want to make it impersonal. I didn't want to make it impersonal where, I just, without any discussion, I just take a decision. Because immaterial of what we decide here, I still have to do what I have to do. So the question is whether, I can do it or not. She's saying slow and steady. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, Mataji. If I had the realization that I have time, I would do it, but I don't. There is going to be presence. 100% there's going to be presence too. Yes, we're going to be working with each other. We're going to be there. That's what I'm saying. I would like to take a look at what I have on my table right now. Right now, the pace I'm going is quite disturbing for me. In other words, it's not disturbing in the sense that I'm disturbed, as is normally understood. It is disturbing because I have to constantly make way too many adjustments to where I am and what I am doing, which is kind of, it tells on your health, it tells on so many other different things. So what I am trying to say is, let's go with what I'm thinking right now, where I'm assuming that I'm not going to be there. And then we start seeing, based on the availability, we start adding sessions and increasing the bandwidth, so on and so forth. We could do that. So we could calibrate this. It's not that, you're going to take a decision today and say that this is what it's going to be. We start calibrating it and we start, making adjustments as we go along, which is the way it should be, because it's not my desire either to be away. Yeah, yes, Mataji. Oh, you're okay, Mataji. Don't worry. Oh, when you were in Dallas. Hmm. No, we're not testing Mataji. I'm testing myself. No, then you will wait again for one more month very eagerly, right? Oh no, it cannot be. It cannot be. It takes, as I say, what do you say? It takes many to raise a child. So that's exactly what spiritual life is, that it's not dependent on one person. If the whole plan of Lord Chaitanya is dependent on me, then good luck. No, I'm saying that. I'm saying that even in Edison, New Jersey, you know, oh, no, she would be there. Don't worry, she's gonna be there. You will have a setback. You have to contact again. You brought a very good point up, and I would like to see. I would like to address it as well. The Vaishnava etiquette in general is for Matajis to contact Matajis. That is the best way it is supposed to be. what my wife does do is she discusses things with me. If she does receive any input from anyone, she discusses, she receives, and then she shares. So even whatever she shares in the temple, or if she's asked to give a class, you know, she writes down the points and everything, discusses, and then only then comes and shares. So in the sense that we work together, even though it may not appear to be so, we work very closely together. So, she's constantly in touch with me. So I would say that if you need to get in touch with me being a Mataji, I have absolutely no problem in having conversations, or you're coming and meeting me and so on and so forth. But the way we should work is that you get in touch with her, and then she kind of brings it to me. And then, of course, you can always visit as a family. You can visit us. You're more than welcome. I don't have any constraints as such. I don't have any constraints personally. That's the mood of my spiritual master. He was like that. He never kept any constraints that, differentiated men, women, because that's the Vedic etiquette is, there is a distinction, but he never kept those constraints for himself. Neither do I have constraints, but then we have to follow a certain protocol. Plus, many of you are good friends of Mataji, so it might be easier for you to communicate to her, and then she communicating to me, or you communicating to your husbands, better still, and your husbands coming and talking to me, and then going back and then talking to you, or meeting me as a husband and wife, right? It's fine, either way. So the point is, we are all available. She's available, I'm available. It's not that, she's going to be cut off. She comes to the temple, I don't. She comes to all the programs you go, I don't. So somehow, she is able to make it to wherever I'm not. So it's not that she is constrained in any way by me. The only time when she comes here is on Fridays. She comes with me. She spends time. She listens to one class and she goes back. So that is the time when we travel together for a program. So, I understand where everyone is talking about, but I just explained to you that it looks like I have certain things to do. I'll have to see how I can efficiently put those in place. If this really becomes a challenge in terms of us being able to deliver content online, you being able to listen, and then you being able to communicate, we'll work something out. It's not that we are completely shut off from ideas. Yeah, he's going to continue. Yeah. Yeah. On you're coming to me for those problems? See, first of all, I, I understand. What do you mean outside view? Oh, you mean to say, okay, see, the point is this, it's not like, there really isn't a challenge. There is no such thing as a system that you go to people basically who you feel confidence in for you to be able to ask questions, and you seek association on personal topics. Sharing your mind in confidence is one of the principles of Vaishnava association shared by the Upadeshamrita. So that is something which continues. So if you have been in touch with me for, any aspect of your life, be it professional, personal, whatever it is, you should continue. There's absolutely no constraint in your being able to approach me. There should be no constraint in your mind in you being able to get in touch with me thinking that, I might be a constraint for time, because the whole purpose is that, to serve devotees. So it's not like we are constrained for time even to be able to meet with devotees to resolve, or be able to hear out what their personal concerns are. So those doors are completely open. As I said, I'm 100% open for you to come and visit and spend time. Half hour or so, we can work on it. You're welcome. That's fine. You're welcome. You're all welcome. Thank you. Yeah. Let's try it out. Yeah, let's try it out. Let's see how it works, and see how we all fit in, and then we'll take it forward. Yeah. Well, the measure is going to be the fact that you are able to chant better. The measure is going to be that you're able to read better. The measure is that you're going to be able to come here and associate on Fridays. The measure is that you're going to be able to serve better. If you are able to tell me that, Prabhu, now, sincerely, and I can perceive it too, if I have to. If you're going to be telling me that, Prabhu, it's working well, that's fantastic. And if you need help on any one of those aspects, then we're going to be able to help you. So it takes a team, right? So I'm here, and you've been associating with me, but you came in here because of him, Purnachandra Prabhu. So he made the arrangements for you to be here. He set everything up. Similarly, we are all going to work together as a team to ensure that there is a support system wherever is available, in whatever manner, without any constraint. See, the frequency, you should not be so caught up on the frequency, because if we can have a prolonged session once a month, it might help you. Plus, if you want to log in and you want to take a look, you have more opportunity to listen. And I will not be constrained by an audience as well, because that's the other side to it. Yes, that's why I'm saying that the association is available once a month. It is available where we can have a session at the same time. As I said, if any of you perceive a need to have a conversation one-on-one, you are more than welcome. You're more than welcome. I would encourage that. Do not hesitate. I'm never constrained for time, to the extent that I cannot meet with devotees or sit with them. I'm never constrained for time, because the whole purpose of whatever we are doing is to be able to do more. So it's not that I'm going to be constrained there. So don't hesitate even a bit, that you can even come and meet with me or talk to us or whatever. Yeah, we are working on it. Probably starting this week is what I'm planning to do. But it's not. Yeah, it's going to be that we are going to be recording it and uploading it. So it might happen that I may have a slot of 4 hours or 5 hours, which I can dedicate to it. I may do 4 sessions continuously, one way or the other, or I may do 2 sessions on certain days. That's the reason why I don't want to be constrained by saying that it has to be on a certain day, certain time. Then it becomes a problem. But if I can fit my schedule properly, and if I can understand my schedule, then I would be able to do that live session. We can start working on a live session. We can, start thinking about, probably having more than 1 session a month. Things like that. So I need some time for me to be able to work around my own schedule too. Right. So I think that was the reason why I wanted to bring everyone here, take your views, present, my plans, and so we could grow together. That's the whole idea. Purnachandra Prabhu will set it up, because I'm in touch with him. He and I work together, so we have the opportunity to sit together every day. So we are able to plan. So he would set it up. I have to work it out with him. It will be a fixed time. It won't be that you can plan around it. It's not like it's going to be ambiguous, that suddenly we're going to make an announcement saying, oh, next week we're going to meet on Tuesday. It will be a fixed time, so you can plan around it. Yeah, we can review, take into account, and at the same time, some of you I'm going to be working closely with in setting these things up, so we can work together on those aspects. So, you shouldn't have a problem with that. Okay? Alright, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki.